Hello and welcome to Discover You Rising, a podcast where we share stories of women who faced challenges and overcame them. So, my guest today is Lee Smith, and Lee has been involved in public speaking a very long time. She started when she was 8 years old. You beat me. I didn't start quite that young. So she has suffered depression and had to work her way out of depression and learn how to quit reacting to life and become the creator of her own life. And she's going to share tips with you today to show you how you can do that too. So welcome, Lee. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Judy. Excited to be here with you and the listeners today.
Great. So let's just jump in and get started.
Wonderful.
So tell us a little bit about you and your story.
Yes. So, hi, everybody. Lee Smith here, and I am the creator of Upcycle Coaching. And upcycle means to process something so as to make it better than what it originally was. And I hope that is what you get to experience during our time together here today. And it certainly is what I experienced coming out of my 2 year depression, somewhere between 2 and 3 years into direction with purpose and joy. And that depression awareness started with me being on the beautiful beach in Hawaii. I had 23 amazing days with my family, and we experienced the four major islands. It was all of our first time there in that beautiful state, and there was this one particular sunset that were looking out, and my husband was ahead of me with this camera and the lens extending like the nose of Pinocchio. He's trying to get that golden hour light just right to capture the beautiful scene we were experiencing. My daughter was a young teenager at the time, and we were having a wonderful mother-daughter moment. And off to the other side of me was my stepson, who was growing and out of the house, but he was there with us with his then girlfriend. So I'm surrounded by people that I love and this incredible scenery, the gentle breeze caressing our face, the golden orb setting on that sapphire jewel horizon. It could not have been a more perfect moment. And I was thinking through everything. I'm thinking, how beautiful, how amazing, thinking, who does this? And as I was thinking, Judy, I caught myself thinking, wait a minute, I am only thinking. I am not feeling this moment. Where's the feeling? Where's the feeling of joy? Where's the feeling of happiness? Where's the feeling of awe? Where's the feeling of, even if there was any frustration or sadness or disappointment, there was zero feeling in that moment. And I thought, what is happening right now? Who am I right now? And in my mind, I'm having this self talk conversation. And that question, who am I right now? There was nothing coming forward. I was observing myself as someone who was covered in what I call just. And if you can imagine picking dust out of your hair, but I was saying I am just a stay-at-home mom. I am just a wife. I am just a stepmom. I am just a daughter. I am just this shell of a human being completely lost. Who am I really? And I realized I was not happy with that moment. And maybe that was the first emotion. Okay, I'm not happy. And it was a realization that I lost all identity in the giving of myself. At that time, I was living in my chapter of being a stay-at-home mom, which was a goal of mine for many, many years. And here I was living it. And in this day and age of social media, if you had looked at my feed, you would have seen, oh my gosh, she's got all these days in Hawaii. She's in this beautiful place. She's got this loving family. Like, Lee has it all. And yet I felt like I had nothing. And I needed to remember who I was. And I said, well, we're at the end of 1 year. with the new year coming right around the corner, I am making a decision right here, right now, to go on this quest to figure out who is Lee. What makes her come alive? Because I felt so numb, not even dead, just numb
Mhm.
inside in that moment. And what makes her happy? So I came home stateside, Judy, and I went on that quest and I did things that would make me laugh because I couldn't remember when was the last time I truly laughed. And there were three essential activities that I did. I moved from the bed to the corner of the couch where I watched reruns of Friends because that was my favorite sitcom. There was a local comedy troupe doing a improv show every weekend, just those first 3 months of the year. So that was fortuitous timing for me. So almost every weekend I was down front and center getting my laughter on. And then I was doing some networking within the community. And I knew the people who had an amazing sense of humor. And I thought if I could just get in that energy, maybe some of that would rub off on me. And Judy, after 30, 60, 90 days of really focusing on activities that would make me laugh, I found my joy again. And it was in that process where I moved from that depression with intention and moved into that direction with joy. Again, that process has now become my 5-step method where I help others not necessarily get out of depression, but really reframe their self talk where the inner critic might be telling them, like I was in my reactor mode, of not being good enough, of being covered in that just. And it's like, no, I'm more than just a mother, a wife, so on and so forth. It's like, no, I am Lee Smith and I am a vessel of value to now take out into the world. And so helping them through that process to shift from that reactor into creator of a life on your terms. So that's kind of the short of the long of it.
I think it's beautiful. I really do. And I think there's a lot of women that are missing part of themselves. So, what kind of tips do you have for women who go, this might be me? How do I figure out what's missing? And then what can I do about it?
Wonderful question, Judy. Wonderful, thank you. And it makes me think of my client Heather, who came to me and she said, Lee, I've been in my marriage for a number of years and I'm feeling a little lost in that. I've been transitioning from being a nurse and I'm wanting to do something with myself. And I don't know really who that is. And I said, all right, well, let's take a look at the Reactor Creator Framework. And for our listeners, you might resonate with this. And if you're in a place where you're safe, definitely do not do this behind the wheel if you're driving. But if you're in a place where you have a paper and a pen and you can write this one simple word, and that word is reactor. And I'm going to show some Scrabble letters here. And if you can write the word reactor, you might identify or resonate with this because you're thinking, life is happening to me. Things don't always work out for me the way that I want them to. And take a look at what are you reacting to? If I invited you to step in front of a mirror right now and take a good, honest look at yourself, what's the first thing you would notice? Is it the gray hairs, the fine lines, the imperfections there? What is the inner self talk that rises up for you? And is it hearing, oh gosh, I'm really not good oh, Lee, really? Do I really need to take a look at myself? I don't like looking at myself. Is it those kinds of things? Those are reactions. And they are false narratives that maybe you've been playing on loop, on repeat for years upon years upon years. And that makes you feel stuck, like the letter C, where you feel stuck in the middle of all the things. Like I was that day on the beach, I was stuck in the all the just labels that I had placed on myself. And there's stress and overwhelm with that. But what if you can really see yourself? Now, if you're writing down the word, cross out that letter C, and it's like taking yourself out from that environment, all that normal environment that you're familiar with, but you're really getting an honest look at yourself to see you as the beautiful miracle that you are. You're not here by accident. You're here because there is amazingness and brilliance inside of you. What I call the three G's, that you have genius, you have gifts, and you have greatness inside of you that, like me that day where I was covered in the dust, I didn't see any of that inside of myself. So when you take a moment to take yourself out and see those things about you that is your truth, they're not the false narratives. They are the truth of who you are and what you have to offer, whether you're in an executive role, whether you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom like I was in that chapter. Who are you showing up as in the world? And then when you can see yourself, get that great awareness, and then you put yourself first, what do you see now? You see the transformation. You see the magic. You see the creator. And the creator wakes up and sees herself in the mirror and says, "Oh, look at that beautiful human being who has something incredible to offer." First to herself, and then in her relationships, in the roles that she plays, and the works that she does, and the lives that she gets to touch. And the creator gets to create. How do I wake up in the morning? What are the wonderful, powerful things that I can be saying to myself today? Because what we say to ourselves in the morning sets the tone for the rest of the day. And then how do you get to show up? And so then as the day goes on, and if things pop up and they're not going the way that you expected, the way that you wanted them to, or they're disrupting your day in some way, you have that moment of choice, that moment between stimulus and consequence where you get to choose. Do I want to be a reactor to this? And it's that first emotion or reaction that comes through. Or is it, am I going to take just a little half a second extra pause and what's the best creation of myself or this situation, that best response that I can choose now? And it takes an effort in making that a habit. But the more that you do it, it starts to become a natural response. And you begin to rewire those false narratives with the, you know what? I am confident. Confidence is about figuring things out. And I know that there is a way to figure this out. So that's what I'm going to open myself up to. Like I said in my story, it was 30, 60, 90 days of mindfulness of I no longer will sit, stand, sleep in this depression. No, I'm going to wake up and become alive again. It didn't happen the moment I made the decision. It was intentional action. And that's where we create that transformation from reactor to creator. So this is what I want to share with you, that you have it within you. I discovered it within me, and now I want every woman on the planet to know. And that's where we make the real difference, Judy.
That is amazing. And I love the transformation from the word reactor to creator. And that's something that it's goes way beyond Scrabble. It is
Right?
something very, very powerful. And we women have always been creators.
Yes.
We carry, birth, and raise children.
Right.
We inspire a loving relationship. And we have to learn how to make the decisions that are going to give us the life that we deserve to have, not the one we think we have to put up with.
So true. So true. And even for those of us women who weren't able to bring flesh and blood children into the
Mhm.
world, we are still birthing inspiration. We are birthing ideas. We are birthing creativity. We are birthing a beautiful power within us. And so I want you to know this is for all women. Um,
Absolutely.
and and that you have that superpower of choice to choose, well, what do I want to birth today, and what do I
Exactly.
want to create. And it could be that deep breath, it could be igniting a new spark, or relighting that pilot light that maybe dimmed through all the noise and in all the demands around us outside, right? And come back into the heart of who you are and who you are meant to be, and rediscover that incredible brilliance within you. And then be bold enough to share that light, again, within your relationships or within the work that you do. We need more of that.
That is fantastic. And if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yes. So, because I am so passionate about helping women with their self talk, rewriting your self talk, I bought the domain, Judy. So you can go to
Good.
rewriteyourselftalk.com. And I invite you to begin the conversation with me by letting me know what is your name and what is your email, so that we can move forward with that. And in return, I want to give you a free gift. It is a 5-minute reset, and it takes you through my proven 5-step method, which I have an acronym, the CANDY method. And that's for clarity, affirmation, necessity, discipline, you. And it's a simple process. This gives you just a little taste, if you will. And you get a 1-pager in there where on one side, it's all those typical things that we say to ourselves that kind of keep us stuck, keep us held back, keep us covered in that just. And then on the other side, you're going to see the reframes, where you can trade the one that's not serving you into the positive reframe that will serve you. This is a simple page you can keep at your desk side, and you can look, oh, what do I need to say to myself today? You can save it as a wallpaper on your phone. So anytime you need to look at it, there it is. Or you can tape it to your bathroom mirror. And so when you're starting your day and you want to start your day the right way, you can say, oh, this is what I need to be saying to myself. And
Exactly.
when you practice that again and again, and it only takes 5 minutes or less, and then you are changing the results, and you feel that power, you feel that confidence, and you're doing things again and again. And if you want more, there's I have so much more to give that we don't have time to go into today. But take that 5-minute reset, and you can find that at rewriteyourselftalk.com.
And I will put that link in the show notes so that if you don't have a piece of paper, you'll be able to check the show notes and it'll be right there for you. And you can reach out and get Lee's free gift to you, and
Yes.
follow her and learn more about what she does. And thank you so much for being on my podcast. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Judy.
All
Wonderful
right.
to be here.